Welcome back to Advance Wars 2. Last time we completed Eagle's second mission in Green Earth. Now it's time for Jess's. And this is kind of weird, because, well, her first mission, in my opinion, was given a higher difficulty level than I really think it should. It was given a 6 when I think it probably should have been a 5. This, I believe, will... Okay, I will admit I love this opening. So, you're gonna order an attack? Yes. Near the volcano? Yes. Sounds dangerous. Yeah, thanks for that, Captain Obvious. Wow, yeah, Hawk is pretty free. Okay, and now coming up here, Flak is about to get epic burned. Now this bit here. Oh! Yeah, Flak totally had that coming, and Lash is totally insane. And moment of silence there, because that is the last time we will ever hear Green Earth's epic move out theme. Yes, very, very sad. But yes, it looks like we've got a volcano here, so yeah, Black Hole's severely risking their troops' lives just so that we don't get to use our Air Force. So, but she does have the best real chances here, considering this is going to be a ground battle. So, here we go. Now, like I was saying, this one got a 4. I think that's a little lower than it should be. I definitely think this mission at least deserves a 5, because in my view, this is probably harder than Navy vs. Air. It's a testimony to how bland I find that mission that I can't even remember its name. But this one, like Navy vs. Air, is pretty much a standard battle to all intents and purposes. Except, unlike Navy vs. Air, it has its own gimmick to it, which you're about to see in a few moments. And hey, Eagle and Jess actually helping each other for once? So, the volcano will go off every, I'm pretty sure it's every turn after the first. Now, you'll notice that the lava hits specific areas on the map. The lava always hits a very specific pattern of tiles, and it has 2 patterns. One that occurs on odd number turns, and one that occurs on even number turns. Now, they say here the key to this mission is figuring out the pattern. Once you know where the lava falls, which might take a couple of tries, but yes, after the first turn, this volcano will go off every turn. Now, yeah, well, it's kind of interesting. I'm playing this campaign so much, I've actually really come to memorize the actual sound of the lava patterns as well. The first one's always the one that's sort of... the sounds are more dispersed. In the second one, you hear more... it's kind of hard to explain, but it goes bang, 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 like that. It just... you almost even remember the natural rhythm of the lava flow here. It's just... it's actually pretty cool how that happens. But anyway, I've spent a lot of early funds to get some APCs out to make sure that I capture forward bases in the 2 corners. Because while one key to this mission is figuring out the lava pattern, the other key is controlling these corners. If you manage to control both corners of this map, you pretty much got a good chance. The problem is, whenever you see things like this, there's usually quite a good chance that the AI will focus most of their forces on one. I've tried to send equal troops off to each one. That way, even if one of them doesn't get through, the other certainly will, and at least I will have one of the corners of the map. Now, okay, he's got that one. Now, I should mention, in terms of capturing cities, okay, that's interesting. So, the tank is going one way, but massed infantry is going the other, so technically, there's relatively equal forces spaced out on the, both of the corners. But anyway, now you might notice here, there is exactly one city. Thankfully, none of the bases have this. All of the bases are 100% safe from lava. So, you can pretty much capture the bases, deploy things from the bases, without worrying at all. there is exactly one city on this map, and I'm pretty sure it's the end one on that cluster of 3 at the bottom there. One city on this whole map that is actually in lava range. So just ignore that city, it's pointless, don't go after it, because whoever's capturing it is gonna get annihilated. But yes, seeing as Hawk has set most of his infantry down one side, I'm sending my recons down that side. Hopefully by the time I capture the upper base, I'll have enough money to produce tanks out of there to counter Hawk's tanks. Once again, massed infantry down the lower end, which means I'm going to be sending out my recons that way. Okay, that artillery just got hit. Now, it's also good to use landmarks to memorize which areas get hit by lava. For example, you might have noticed there that the artillery was right in front of the bridge on the northwestern side of Hawk's base. I mean, that bridge. So, again, use landmarks to memorize where the lava hits. Know that the space in front of that upper bridge is a lava tile. Know that. If you know this mission well enough, you can actually lure the enemy into lava tiles if you're good at it. So, this is actually kind of an interesting mission, and it's one that, again, it might be a little intimidating at first, but you tend to get better at it as you go. Now, I do still think, though, this is probably harder than Navy vs. Air. Navy vs. Air is a longer mission with a bigger map and the like, but this one, I admit that there's less of a, well, it's less of a big income battle, I will say, but considering that the other one lets you get a lot of, Navy vs. Air lets you get a lot of income quite quickly, I guess that makes it sort of easier. This one, yeah, it's going to be mostly low price units like tanks and recons and artillery that are going to be doing most of your fighting here. See the pattern there? Yep, Jess is strong with all those units, so she's a very good choice for this mission. So again, because of the unique gimmick to it, I still believe that this is probably harder than than Navy vs. Air, and probably should have got a 5-star rating, not 4 stars. 4 stars is just really uncharacteristically low at this point in the game. Admittedly, Showstopper did get 4 stars, but whoever put Showstopper's difficulty in was clearly out of their mind, because Showstopper, there is no way in hell that is a 4-star mission. That is a 5-star mission at least. I believe the hard mode version of Showstopper has even really high difficulty rating, but yeah. Speaking of hard mode, there's something really weird about the hard mode version of this mission that I was recently just looking up all the maps of the hard campaign versions of the missions. For some reason, in hard mode, the enemy starts with a whole bunch of pre-deployed mechs stationed around the mountains surrounding the volcano. It's really weird, but I guess it is an advantage, but it's a bit weird that they'd be sending actual troops close to an active volcano that is erupting at this point. Because, yeah, you'd think the heat alone would kill them, but hey, this is video games. Lava only hurts if it actually touches you. Again, remember that space right there gets hit by lava, and Hawk is massing a whole lot of forces this way, so I better be ready to concentrate most of my deployments up here. And infantry out. Now, careful here, just be careful. Some of these spaces might be lava, I'm not entirely sure. If you look at a guide, there are a lot of visual guides online that will actually show you the pattern of spaces. And in fact, I might actually try and, I don't know, because I'd worry about whether or not it's right to use that stuff without people's permission, and there's no way I can suddenly get permission. But basically, know that you can look up a few guides online that will show you exactly the exact spaces the lava hits. Those help. Again, I challenge myself not to use any guides this time, and wow, Hawk has no power meter. This is another thing. The fact that this is generally a low-income battle means that, at the very least, Hawk won't be getting his powers that quickly, so at least you can take solace in that. Just get a tank down the bottom in case I need it. Again, At least you can take solace in the fact that, I guess that is one thing that Navy vs. Air does have on this mission, is that, again, Navy vs. Air is more of a battle of high incomes, which means, why did I make a mech? Jess's mechs suck. Why did I make one? I don't know. Anyway, I guess that was just weird, I don't know, but still. Okay, he's not going to get that base, so... Things were slowed down a little. Okay, good thing I deployed a tank down there. See? Told you I'd need it. Because otherwise my recons are in serious trouble. Don't hit the tanks. Okay, did any of my units get hit there? Did any of them get hit? Anyone? I don't think anyone got hit there, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure no one got hit. So, okay, take that thing out so my tank can reach his tank. That goes down. I think the other infantry will also go down. This might be good for my power score, actually. Well, provided I can kill more than 2 a turn. Tank gets severely damaged. That is good. Very, very good. You know, it's kind of funny. I'm actually recording this when it's really hot where I live, so I guess it's fitting that should happen for the volcano mission. Okay, should I drop now or not? That tank is going to do a bit of damage. Yeah, okay, now this is funny. Whatever you do, do not send out any missile units. This might seem like common sense, but I just want to admit how hilarious it is, the fact that there are no airports in this mission entirely. Which means that if you do deploy a missile unit, it's completely useless. I mean, in Fog of War, missiles have high vision range, but guess what? This isn't Fog of War, so utterly pointless. Don't use missiles, just don't. I mean, you should know better than that. Really, you should. Absolutely 0 airports on this mission. So yeah, it's a good thing this is a Jess mission, because I do admit that Eagle is still fine on land because his lightning strike still affects land units, but Drake maybe not so much. I mean, his land units are average overall, but still. And speaking of which, seeing as I'm running out of things to say for the time being, I'll just, I've already got a few things I plan to talk about when I ran out of things to say here, so I guess I'll just say this. Firstly, the fact that Green Earth overall is actually probably, in terms of the 3 commanders of it, one of the most balanced factions in the game. Again, you notice in the opening of the Green Earth campaign, which I didn't get to talk about that much because I was too busy talking about other things, that you got Eagle specialized in air, Drake specialized in navy, and Jess specializes in land units. Of the 3, with the 3 of them wow, Hawk, you're a derp. You just keep putting your units there, don't you? Yeah. You think Flak was commanding this for some reason. And like I was saying. So, basically, yeah, they are one of the most balanced. That thing's running out of fuel already. Again, the sheer irony of an APC running low on fuel. But, for, I think, the second time. Anyway. Yeah, you got, see, combined, the 3 Green Earth commanders, all they really lack is an infantry specialist. And when you think about it, if, you know, Sammy seems to have a relationship with Eagle, so I guess she provides the infantry. So, in a way, technically they could cover everything, really. There is actually a War Room mission in this game where you have to face Eagle, Drake, and Jess as your opponents, all allied with each other. And it's actually pretty tough given how well they cover each other's weaknesses, so pretty interesting that. Now, the enemy forces are probably going to hit us soon here. There's a lot more forces around this area. Now again, any cities besides that one city lower down that gets hit by the volcano are safe. So you know that aside from that one city, you're always safe if you're on a city, basically. And I am distinctly avoiding capturing that city because it is pretty much a complete waste of time. But yes, you are safe from the volcano if you're on a city, unless it's that one, and you'll probably figure out what that one is quite easily. I'm not sure if I've ever seen the AI attempt to capture that city, but if they are, well, they're even derpier than I thought. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about here is, alright, that's it. Oh, wow, that tank's just been trapped, which could end very badly. Let's hope the lava gets some things, and I think one of my Oh, yeah, my recon got hit. Recon hit, APC hit. Okay, so much for not being hit by lava. At least that doesn't impact your technique ranking, provided the unit doesn't actually outright die. And speaking of dying, I guess that's another one of these things that I can mention. I've said before that, that usually the failure dialogues in this game aren't really too bad. Usually they just give you a few tips on how to better do the mission next time. It is a little annoying that the closest thing this game has to a hint system requires you to actually fail. I do much prefer that in Days of Ruin they made it so that you've got the tactics rooms, which basically do the exact same thing, but you don't have to deliberately fail the mission to get them. Like, sometimes in this, when I was doing a new mission for the first time, I would intentionally yield just to see the hint dialogue. And yeah, I much prefer how Days of Ruin does it by the fact that, well, yeah, you don't have to actually lose to get the hints, which is pretty cool. But the one thing I'll say to you is, usually, I did mention though, there is one mission in this whole game where the failure dialogue is horribly depressing. And that's this mission, okay? If there is one mission you do not want to lose, it's this one. Okay, I don't fully remember it as much off the top of my head. The failure dialogue for this mission is, as far as I remember, possibly the single most depressing thing in this entire game. Whatever you do, don't lose this mission, unless you want to be horribly depressed. Because, yeah, I can't quite remember the exact details, but I know that it actually gets surprisingly dark by the standards of this game. Basically, Jess laments how much of a failure she is for letting her troops die horribly to the lava. It's actually really dark by the standards of this game, and really a whole lot more depressing than most of the other stuff in this game. So, again, I warn you, whatever you do, don't fail this mission. It's not that hard, but at least try not to fail it. But yes, Hawk seems to be concentrating most of his forces up here, and I'm really glad those artillery joined themselves rather than actually attack me. Please tell me that nothing else is in range. Good, okay. Medium tank doesn't have quite enough movement. I guess that's something else I could mention. When it comes to, and who better to mention this with than Jess, because of her being a vehicle specialist. Oh, that definitely would have been a kill with anyone other than Jess, but yeah, weak infantry. Almost has Black Wave, not quite. But anyway, like I was saying, the thing is, medium tanks do have some distinct disadvantages over regular tanks, or light tanks as you could probably call them, in that they have much less movement range and fuel capacity. This game introduced Neo-tanks, which I do admit that in Dual Strike suffer from a bit of a balance problem. While in this game, Neo-tanks, you had to unlock them, so it makes sense for them to be, well, a little overpowered. They basically are much more powerful than medium tanks, but have none of the weaknesses. They don't have the bad movement range, they don't have lower ammo or fuel capacity, and basically their only real downside is that they're expensive. And the fact that you have to unlock them. Now, in Dual Strike, Neo-tanks were made available always. Which makes sense, considering that the nations captured the plans for them in this game, so it makes sense for them to still have them in the next one. Now, that led to a few weird balance issues, because that game also introduced the Mega Tank. Now, the Mega Tank was freakishly powerful, like really freakishly powerful, and even more expensive than a Neo-tank. The problem was that its power was balanced by a few major drawbacks. Its movement and fuel and ammo issues were even worse than medium tanks, to the point where it was very ill-advised to ever use them without an APC escort, because otherwise they have this massive tendency to run themselves out of ammo very quickly. And the thing about that is, they give that unit massive flaws. And the problem with that was, Neo-tanks were a little bit cheaper and had none of those flaws. And most of the time, it actually felt more efficient just to use Neo-tanks rather than go for Megas. Days of Ruin removed not medium tanks, well, that'd be weird. Days of Ruin removed Neo-tanks entirely, and I actually feel that was a good decision from a balance standpoint. In this game, I'm fine with Neo-tanks, because there's no other ground unit that's as strong, and you have to unlock them in the campaign mode, and they're quite expensive. when you introduce Mega Tanks, it just got to the point where Mega Tanks had so many flaws, they just weren't worth it over Neo Tanks most of the time, unless you wanted hilarious overkill. Like, seriously, medium tank machine... sorry, I keep saying it. Not even heavy tank. Mega tank machine guns versus infantry is... I think they do more damage than anti-airs, which is pretty insane. And they do... Haha, you got hit by lava. Yeah, the AI is actually pretty dumb when it comes to this mission. They could have easily programmed them to always avoid lava squares, but for some reason they didn't. I guess to make things more merciful for the player. And to make sure that luring tactics actually work here. Like, it is possible to lure the enemy into lava range, which is actually pretty cool. But, yeah, like I was saying, I do admit that Days of Ruin did make a good decision in removing the medium tank. I keep saying that! Why do I keep saying that? I mean, this is a medium tank. Medium tank, mega tank. Two totally different things. Okay, gotta get that in my head. Doesn't matter that it's getting really hot where I live and I'm starting to get a little delirious from the heat, but still. There are the things I put up with to get videos up, but I just really felt that I needed to get this up. But anyway. Mega tanks, right. With them introduced, yes, I feel like it was probably a good thing they got rid of Neo tanks, but yeah, that's just another thing to mention. Now, one more thing that I might want to mention about Jess, and this is something that I didn't actually get a chance to talk about in her other missions. I was going to talk about this in her first mission, but I didn't. Jess's theme. I can't believe I had mentioned this before. I really, really like Jess's theme. I think it is pretty amazing. And I think the remix they gave it in Dual Strike made it even better. The thing that I feel about Jess's theme, though, the thing that makes it really stand out to me, remember how I was saying in one of the earlier missions, yeah, I definitely want to do that, because otherwise that neck is going to totally maul me. The thing that I was mentioning in I believe it was Drake's Dilemma, I was talking about how the music of the three Green Earth commanders really is just very... I know people throw around the term atmospheric when it comes to music a lot, and most of them probably don't seem to actually fully understand what it means, but so I'm not going to use it. But I'm going to say that the music is, to me, the reason why I like the Green Earth Commanders theme so much is they really actually evoke their specialty unit. Jess's theme here, which is now gone, funny timing that. Okay, he's going to go for Black Storm. That is probably better for me. And that was a little annoying, but oh well. I'll just wait until Jess's turn comes back again so I can talk about her theme with her theme actually playing. You know, funny thing I just realised, with Hawk's 10% firepower boost to all units, Hawk's vehicles are technically just as good as Jess's vehicles. So that is actually kind of interesting. And back to Jess's theme, so I can talk about her actual theme more. And wow, I've pretty much totally overrun his base now. But, like I was saying, back to Jess's theme. The thing I like about it is, to me, this theme really evokes her specialty with vehicle units, in that, I don't know if anyone else gets this, but to me, this theme really sounds like engines. I don't know why, to me, it sounds like engines revving up. It has the feel of that. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like, it's just the whole really rhythm of it. And guess what? I just ruined it because I'm going to use my super. Oh, how my commentary sometimes has weird synergy with the actual video itself. But anyway, I've already talked about Jess's giant pencil, I think, so yeah. But anyway, yeah, to me that her theme really evokes that feeling of sort of engines, and I just think that really just makes it so much more awesome. And then of course you've got Drake, whose music just sounds very much like a sort of a sea shanty in a way. And then Eagle, who has a similar feeling to Jess to me. To me, Eagle's theme really evokes the sound of jet planes flying overhead. And that is what I love about the Green Earth themes, is that they're really evocative of that character's specialty unit, and in fact the themes in general are very evocative of character's personality. And hey look, guess what? Guess who's already put infantry on Hawk's headquarters? Yeah, I don't foresee this battle going on any longer. Now, normally I prefer to see if I can secure as much of a power score as possible before I go for At this point, I was actually wondering if I could go for an extra kill here before I go for the headquarters. I'm pretty sure this is going to get me the power score, so I have this feeling that I might actually be able to capture this headquarters very soon, and then this will be 2 turns from now, and I'll have the power ranking already secured. This turn has probably already got me the power score, so I'm fine with capturing the HQ as fast as possible. So, yes, this was certainly quicker than I expected, but yeah. So again, Green Earth's music is awesome. I've been gushing about that music for quite some time, so I guess I should just say that. Leave it there and give some final thoughts on this mission. I have a feeling that one of those things is going to get hit by lava soon, but anyway. Having Neo-Tanks unlocked actually does help for this, but I don't think I'm actually going to use any of them. Now, this city right here, I believe, is... yeah, I've left that to last for a good reason. That is the Lava City, and I just realized the people who live there are so screwed. Whoever lives in that one city, they... chances are they... I mean, I do admit, there are probably some real-world places where people live within range of an active volcano, and... oh, that'd probably really suck if, when the volcano actually gets around to almost erupting. That'd be... I guess you just gotta have an evacuation plan at all times, pretty much, if you live in one of those places. But that city, I feel so bad for that city. It's like... I had a feeling that would happen. I kind of had a feeling that would happen, yeah. Damaging the expensive unit like that just pushed him over the edge, and it's Black Storm time. Fortunately, I've already done just about everything I set out to do. Oh... except, I just realized there was a little more length in this video than I expected from being on the HQ. Yeah, that's going to lengthen my HQ capture to another 3 turns rather than another 2, so that's actually going to be very annoying. Well played, Hawk, well played. See why you're so annoying to fight against? And yep, that infantry just got hit. So... yeah. That's the city. That city's pretty much pointless. I'm only capturing it now for bragging rights. You know what would be really funny? If there was a lab map in that city. That would just be hilarious and evil. But, again, Intelligent Systems has done some more evil stuff in the past. Xavier, Fire Emblem 5, Part of the reason why I'm never going to play through Fire Emblem 5 is because, Although I do realise that you guys would probably love to see the fail channel of me attempting to recruit Xavier. Oh, that physically hurt when I did that for the first time. Seriously. Oh, and back then I didn't know that you could let those lieutenants die after you turn them green, and you'd still be able to get Xavier. So I was trying to keep them all alive. Oh my god. You know, it actually makes me feel like crying just thinking about having to recruit Xavier, so I'll stop. If I put you there, you're going to get hit by artillery. Hopefully you should survive, and the artillery's going to get repaired. That'll be 6 HP and 6 versus 6. That may actually kill, and that wouldn't be good. I actually don't think I've had too many units lost in this battle, but, I may just end up having another one, and I'm just going to put an APC there to block off the enemy's attempts to get to my forces advancing that way. And speaking of blocking, I just moved off one of my base blockers, which is probably not a good idea. Again, okay, base block, good, you move, yeah, I'll be able to block that on a base too, so Hawk will only have 1 base to deploy things out of. Okay, you, yeah, maybe the 6 HP tank can kill that thing. Past me was... I don't know what Past me was doing here. They were just like, oh, what do I do? Will I do that? Will I do that? Will I... But, anyway. Now, hopefully, if Past me has any sense, they will... They will... Come on, Past me. Come on, get to it. I'm probably not going to use those tanks, but oh well. They will use the 6 HP tank to kill that mech, and then use the recon to... What?! What did you just... What?! I'll say it again! Past me! You're a moron! You could have moved that one unit down, the tank down, took out the 1 HP thing, then moved the recon down to block that base. Now, guess what? You've just made Hawk deploy one more unit. I mean, I know I'm still going to win anyway, but that was really, really bad. Oh, sometimes I question Parsme's... Well, oftentimes I question Parsme's judgment. I guess that's one of the things of doing post commentary. Like, I mean, there are downsides to doing live commentary. The fact that, well, you often play worse because you have to worry about talking as well as playing. Post commentary does have its flaws, though. Mainly, you have to point out your past self's idiocy very, very often. Wait a minute. Speaking of idiocy, that artillery didn't even attack, did it? I don't recall it actually attacking. That's really weird. I guess I was afraid for no reason. Okay, yeah. Okay, at this point, capturing is going to be faster than routing, and I probably secured the power score anyway, so I'm going to go for the capture this time. Kind of rare that you see a battle like this end in HQ capture. Well, usually, by the time I've captured the HQ, I've pretty much routed them anyway, but here things are a little different. Well, actually, this is actually still overkill, but not as much overkill as I would have hoped. You go, and Hawk has no forces on this side, which is good, and now he's completely pushed back to his base. What's he got left? Quite a lot of units, and I can't block all of his bases in time, I don't think so. Oh, wait a minute, that recon's blocking another base, so I couldn't have actually blocked off that base anyway. I guess, Parsme wasn't such an idiot after all. Still, I could have easily... You know what? Leaving that mech on 1 HP may have been better. That's interesting. Maybe Parsme actually was smart after all. Interesting. Okay, now I could join those infantry, but by the time I do so, I will have captured that thing anyway, so it's not actually going to matter. But I can't block that base entirely, but I can swarm with units so that it can't actually, their units won't be going very far out of the base. And hey, look, I'm going to make a Neo-Tank just for bragging rights. Or not, I'm just going to go churn out infantry out of all my bases, just to make the technique ranking better, even though I am pretty sure I've only lost like 3 units so far, which is actually pretty good. And just attacking you for the hell of it. And to reduce your chance of killing off that 1 HP APC, I believe. So, next turn we will have this well and truly done. Okay, you better survive this, otherwise Hawk's gonna be... Okay, good, that's good. That's nice. And... dead. Yeah, well that thing wasn't going to last anyway, but I'm going to capture this turn anyway. Day 17. Now, I get the feeling this mission can be speedrun quite easily. Like, I have a feeling that it might be possible to actually get a unit into Hawk's base very early and capture this HQ very quickly. I wonder what the world record turn count for this mission is. I have this feeling that it's probably relatively easy to speedrun, but again, I prefer taking things a little more slowly so that I can get the power and technique rankings. The perfect speed requirements are usually pretty generous anyway. But I'm not sure what the perfect... Again, I never looked up any of the perfect speed requirements, so... yeah. I am definitely going to capture that this turn, so I'll just, you know, kill as many things as I can this turn for bragging rights. There have been times when an attempt to kill as many things as possible on the final turn did actually get me the power score. Or at least a higher power score than I would have if I didn't. But, so, it's always actually good to do this, because sometimes this is actually what gets you the power ranking, but I'm pretty sure that turn when I use my super is what's going to get me the power ranking for this one. I wish there was some way to keep track of your maximum kills in one turn. Is my medium tank actually going to be able to reach this? Because I probably could have done this in a different order. Or I can just do this. And gone. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there are 2 things left. Okay, so I can there's probably very little chance I could finish them off this turn, but I'm going to capture this turn anyway. So, you die. I don't think I can get that recon. I honestly don't think I can get that recon. And you... I mean, not recon, APC. What am I saying? And I only lost 3 units this whole mission, which is actually pretty good. And capture! There we go. Yeah, you should have withdrawn 10 turns ago, I reckon. But yeah, Jez is actually kind of interesting in that her personality kind of revolves around being a... If there's that TV trope, a father to his men, she's a mother to her men, because she really cares about her troops' lives, which is actually... But okay, this line right here. You weren't terrible, try to continue not screwing up. That is apparently the best Eagle ever says about Jess. That's his equivalent of a compliment. Yeah. Think of it as a sort of Eagle compliment. Oh, and by the way, this artwork here is unique to this chapter, obviously. Overall, I find Jess's characterization is kind of interesting. She'd probably fit in well in Days of Ruin, I just realized. Because she seems to act a lot like, almost like Will in that game. But anyway, next time, oh no, I'm not looking forward to this.